Hey everybody, today is Friday, July 25th, 2025. Hope you had a good week in the markets. Semis lost a little bit of ground, as did oil and Bitcoin, but pretty solid across the board still as these markets remain in solid, healthy uptrends above the rising 20, 50, 200-day moving average. We saw a little bit of weakness on Tuesday. The markets quickly regained the week-to-date volume-weighted average price on Wednesday and has been higher highs and higher lows since then. Let's take a quick look at crypto. Bitcoin fell a little bit here this week as it undercut that 116 level. The key here in the next couple of days will be if it recovers back up into this range, then this will likely have been a shakeout right to the rising 20-day moving average, and from failed move lower could come a faster move higher. This is likely to clear the way. If we recover, it's likely to clear the way for a move up towards 125 or so. And for Ethereum, we didn't pull back quite as deep in there. I haven't repurchased any of this. I'm still hoping maybe we get a pullback down to the anchor from the beginning of this move right here. On Ripple, I did buy some at 313. And if you look at Ripple on the daily time frame as well, here with a 20-day moving average, we came right to that level. Solana right down to this prior band of resistance. So it's likely to find some support in here. When we look at a shorter term time of Solana, it's down to the anchor from here. I haven't purchased any yet, but I'm thinking of doing it maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I've got a bid down in here, but I like the way that this prior band of resistance seems to be setting up as support in Solana. So that one is probably my favorite in terms of new purchases. Back to the S&P 500. Again, we're above this rising 20-day moving average, 50-day moving average, 200-day moving average. It's up too much, it's extended, etc. But there's nothing here to say that the sellers are very interested in holding on to any pressure for very long. We continue to see these quick little sell-offs down to important levels, prior resistance right at the 5-day moving average, get bought up, and the market continued higher. The NASDAQ, kind of the same story. We've still got a beautiful pattern of higher highs and higher lows, prior bands of resistance acting as support in here after this little shakeout. So the buyers remain in control. I think that for a lot of these markets, the 20-day moving average is going to be the really important moving average. So if you look at those in particular in some of the leading stocks, you'll see how a few of them have given up that 20-day moving average, but the stronger ones are still rising above it. And the Russell 2000 is riding that 20-day moving average as well. It's a much choppier uptrend, so it's not one that I'm participating in, but the buyers do remain in control. For a bigger, to give it a little bit of room for a stop, I would think maybe go under here. Semiconductors gave back a little bit of ground as noted, but it's really pretty incredible that they're holding up. We've seen stocks recently like ASML get hit hard. Texas Instruments got really hit hard this week, right down to the year-to-date anchor and the anchor off of the April low. So Texas Instruments likely to stabilize in this area. I wouldn't buy the dip. We still have a pattern here of lower highs and lower lows below declining 5-day moving average. So that's just a level of interest in there. Intel also got hit. It seemed as though maybe Intel was trying to recover and build onto something for the first time in a while. When we look at the weekly chart, it had the possibility that maybe it could build a rally, but that obviously failed here. So leave that one alone. And back to the semiconductors again, it's really amazing that they can continue to hold up as well as they do, and no doubt a lot of that has to do with Nvidia. And look how Nvidia is riding this rising 20-day moving average. When that gives up, then I think you're going to want to be a little bit more careful. Similar to the way Netflix, when Netflix was riding its 20-day moving average and then it gave it up, then we saw a little bit more significant selling. So biotechs, they continue to have trouble with that 200-day moving average, still stuck in the same range we were in 1 week ago. But On a positive note, they're above a rising 20-day moving average. On a negative note, they're below a declining 200. To me, that says just leave it alone. There's really nothing there of interest. Apple is looking like it wants to continue to move higher with a stop below here. I think you can buy Apple. Amazon still riding that rising 20-day moving average. It had 1 day shakeout below it, and from that failed move came this faster move higher here. SMCI is riding its 20-day moving average, although if you're in it, be very careful. It's up to the anchor from the all-time high. That has been a previous level of interest before, not precise resistance, but it has certainly stalled out in that zone in the past. So this to me means just raise your stop up if you're involved in that one. Tesla is still within this triangle here where we see a pattern of lower highs and higher lows, and now we're right back to the midpoint of that range. So unless you're trading these ranges, it to me seems like a stock to avoid. Meta, you can see this one has had a little bit of trouble with its 20-day moving average, so it probably needs some more time to go sideways in there. Whereas AMD is really the leader in the semiconductors right now. This run has been relentless. Don't be the people who are always trying to fight the trend. It's not a good idea to try to short this thing. If someone asked me about shorting it because they thought it was up too much, and that's just a horrible idea. Have a good weekend, everyone.